Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Butter and Sage. Today I'm going to make some beautifully fluffy and delicious pancakes, which are great to have during this festive time. In fact, any time of the year they're great. But I feel like sometimes when we have our families at home for a long time, we may run out of ideas, and instead of buying some prepared bits to eat, these are really easy to make and they can be enjoyed for breakfast, for a bit of a lunch, in between, whenever. It's all allowed during Christmas. By the way, for those of you who do not like my short dresses, brace yourself, because not only am I wearing a short dress, I am also wearing heels, which you may or may not get to see. I am, by the way, a London girl through and through, but we've been living in the countryside for a very, very long time, and I don't get to wear my heels and my outfits that often anymore, so why not in my kitchen? Why not dress up and feel good? Talking about feeling good, let's start. The key element of these pancakes is my kefir, homemade kefir. Super easy to make, makes a huge difference over and above the shop bought, but I presume you won't have it at home. So what you can do is you can have a shop bought, but it just won't be as fluffy. To achieve the fluffiest and most delicious pancakes, you need homemade. What you need for that are the kefir grains. These days they're really easy to find, even on Amazon. This is where I bought mine. So they're kind of like these sort of mushroom type of a family that you just need to add milk to, and over 24 hours they create beautiful kefir that is the healthiest you can have, because all of those beneficial bacteria are in here live, not half that you buy in the shops. And so that's what I'm going to be using. If you're interested, I'll try to leave some links down below off of Amazon, but really easy to make. So we will need 250 milliliters of kefir. So I'm going to measure it out. We will also need 160 grams of flour, half a teaspoon of soda, half a teaspoon of baking powder, pinch of salt, and depending how much sugar you like, I would say about 2 tablespoons of sugar, but you can minimize it or you can level it up, and also 2 eggs. We're starting with dry ingredients first. 160 grams of flour, then half a teaspoon of baking powder and soda, pinch of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and mix it all together, making sure you don't have any clumps in there. The only 2 ingredients that are left, except for the fruit that we're going to add to it, is the kefir and 2 eggs. I've got just the perfect amount left here in my egg dish. So what I like to do is beating the eggs into the kefir and mixing them before I add it to the dry ingredients. I'm just going to wash my hands. And now I'm going to try and kind of break these eggs apart and mix it into the kefir. It's easier to do this way than when adding to the flour, and sometimes the eggs become a bit clumpy and all of that with the dry mixture. So that's about enough. And now this is going to go into our dry mix. The kefir will activate the soda and things start to get quite fluffy and sometimes even fizzy, depends how active my kefir is. But the key here is to mix it and not over mix it. You mix it quite sort of rapidly, making sure there are no large clumps, and then you leave it alone. That's it. I don't want to do any more to it. It now will start fluffing up. I will wait for the mixture to fluff up a little bit longer before I start adding my fruit. So I'm just going to show you how kind of it almost looks like a mousse, or it's starting to get there. Can you see that beautiful chemistry that's happening here? This is exactly what you want. Now would be the time to add anything you like vanilla sugar perhaps. Let me see if I have some. Oh yeah, I do. Oh my god, I love baking with this type of sugar. It just reminds me of the 90s. Just gonna give it a nice kind of sprinkling, probably about a half a teaspoon. I'm going to dry those blueberries. There's literally a handful, so here you can be super experimental. This mix seems to be working with my boys very well, and so that's where I am heading. But if you want to experiment with other berries, by all means. I'm just showing to you what works in my family. So about yay much. So like a small handful. And now I'm going to prepare the apple. I've got a small apple here, so that will be enough because I'm going to core it, and I'm going to also take the skin off, and by the end there won't be that much left anyway. So where is my little dish here? I was going to share kind of a Christmas cookie recipe, but then I thought, who doesn't like pancakes? And pancakes in my house, this is such a regular occasion that it happens at least once a week. Here you don't want any sour apples, none of that. You want a nice, sweet, juicy apple. And we're going to dice it or cut it into cubes that are relatively small because they need to cook within that very quick time that the pancake is being cooked on the pan. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention, but I always remember it once I start chopping the apples. Cinnamon. So that is something you can add if you like cinnamon. If you don't, then keep it away. It's an optional type of a spice, but I love it with apples, and I love it during this Christmas time. Apples and cinnamon, and vanilla, of course. So this type of a ginger, it's fantastic in desserts because you can see these bits here. In fact, you know what? I'm going to put a small piece in there. Oh my goodness, that smells so good. I'm just going to go literally this piece and just chop it up into smaller pieces. It's going to be delicious. No, okay, it needs more, all right? It's glorious when you're cutting into it. And that is going to be so quintessential Christmassy. But I'm going to really chop it up quite small. So these pancakes, they're not a boring type of a pancake. So look, about a tablespoon. These are definitely not boring. These are kind of already dressed with loads of flavor in them, so you don't need much else just a bit of drizzle of honey or maple syrup, depends what your preference is. I'm just going to add a bit of cinnamon. This is the good stuff. Don't buy the fake cinnamon, which is actually quite bad for you if you use it regularly, apparently. So about yay much. And yay much would be, I'd say, 1/4 teaspoon. And now look at this gorgeousness. It's like a dessert on its own. Your family will be begging you for these pancakes. Gorgeous. Look at this beautiful mixture. Now it's time to preheat your pan. Grab a ladle of sorts, and you now going to just ladle it and don't mix in between. That's the key. You want them to be fluffy. Wait for the pan to get really nice and hot. Having my tea in my mama cup. If you're not on my Patreon, you won't know what I'm talking about, but there's a whole video and a half about it. Get a ladle of fruit and the butter, mix and pop it on. And we want to hear a gentle sizzle. So on my pan I do 3 at a time because I don't want them to flow into one another. Make them as big or as small as your family likes them. Get a pretty plate ready because it's Christmas. Line it with some napkins, which you can remove later, but you want that excess oil to go onto the napkin. So we're going to cook them until they have these kind of little bubbles and little holes on top. Then, only then, we turn them over. They are super fluffy inside, and then you have this lovely crunchy kind of edge, which is lovely and caramelized and just gorgeous. So if you take that, drizzle some honey or maple syrup, whatever you prefer, you literally do not need anything else on top of it. All the goodness is already inside, so love them. While the final batch is still cooking, I will show you how nice and airy and fluffy they are on the inside. And it makes like this size of a pancake about 9. So if you have a bigger family, then you can just double the recipe. So I'm going to tear this one apart and show you how beautifully fluffy and airy it is. So you can see there's the apple, there's the blueberry. So good. So that ginger is giving you that lovely, delicate warmth. It's not spicy in any way, but it's very, very Christmassy. That is a beautiful dessert. The edges are slightly crunchy with that beautiful soft inside. They are amazing. So here are all the pancakes -1. Bring out your prettiest plate, and I'm going to just show you the simplest way, which I don't even think I need to show you, but I will. This is how I would decorate them in the most simplest way possible. Just get the ones that are less hot. If you have a nice little orange or a clementine, just the smell of it alone on the plate is just amazing. Nice and simple. Just take your kind of icing sugar. I've got a vanilla icing sugar here, which is perfect to finish your desserts. Sprinkle a little bit of it on the top. And immediately we have got kind of snowy, Christmassy vibe going on. Here we go. There is literally nothing else you need to do, but if you prefer them with maple syrup or a bit of honey drizzle, you can do that as well. Enjoy the pancakes. They are super, super, super delicious. Merry Christmas, and I will see you in the new year. Enjoy the pancakes.